Okay, everybody, first things first, thanks for watching. Secondly, I didn't want to make this video. As you know, I'm being forced to make these videos by the Dewitte family, and unfortunately and sadly, I'm not able to stop. I tried to stop, but they abuse me. They are keeping me in the basement in their Florida home. I'm not going to disclose the location right now because of privacy concerns. I like to keep some things held close to my chest. But I have tried to escape a number of times. Unfortunately, they are using padlocks and chains on the doors. Only one time was I able to make it out the front door to the front yard, but unfortunately, Brother Dylan was out there using his electric lawnmower. He was mowing the lawn, and he caught me. Frankly, I'm lucky I didn't get pepperballed. So it goes without saying that I don't want to make these videos. It's not my fault. Whatever I say on here is part of the script that the DeWitts and the Votes and the Burtons and the people of the world are making me say. This video in particular is coming from Jennifer's foot. Please, everyone, call 911 now. But only because the foot is hurting, not because it got slammed in the door. This is an actual picture of Jennifer's foot that we are looking at on the screen right now. I am sorry. YouTube may age restrict this video or remove it from YouTube entirely for graphic violence or disturbing images. And for that, I apologize. As most of you know, Jennifer used to do police work. And when I say Jennifer used to do police work, I meant that Jennifer used to do police officers. The complaints are out there. We know what happened in the back and the front of the squad car and in the passenger and the driver's side of the vehicles and in the back of the ambulance and in the front of the ambulance and on the sides of the fire trucks. We know what happened on the railroad lines and in the passenger vehicles that are being used for commercial purposes, and that's commercial purposes. She doesn't have to obey those laws because she's not a commercial driver. When her foot got this way, it's because she was traveling, Your Honor. And according to the 32nd Amendment of the Constitution, traveling is a right guaranteed by the Magna Carta and the Knights Laws of Edinburgh. You know, from the year 650 AD. In fact, we can go back into biblical times where Moses parted Jennifer's teeth and later spoke to her burning bush. Again, I'm sorry, graphic images, even though they're not even being displayed. Speaking of Jennifer, Halloween is fast approaching, everybody. This is personally my favorite time of year. Jeremy also loves it because of the old police impersonation. Most people don't realize that according to his plea agreement, he's not allowed to dress like police except for one day of the year, which is Halloween. And we don't want to talk about it too much, but this year Jeremy is dressing up his cars with bluish purple lights. And instead of dressing like himself for Halloween this year, he's actually going to dress as a police impersonator. And speaking of Pennywise, Jennifer is going to be there too. That is, as long as her Dr. Pepper signs off on her foot and the ability to be able to continue to walk the town, because right now she is ordered to bed rest, limiting time on YouTube, and no walking out on the streets. Which, by the way, she is now on an unemployment since she's not allowed to be out walking. And as you know, AshleyMadison.com is cracking down and terminating accounts that put up graphic or gruesome images, which seriously disrupted Jennifer's operation because how's she supposed to post pictures of herself? Which also, as you know, Jennifer is no longer doing online because she's tired of people making fun of her crooked eyeball. Which personally, I don't even think people should be mentioning how crooked her eyeball is because who cares? How's that any of your business when she's looking two different directions? Not to mention one's bigger than the other? Who cares, people? And for those of you talking about her gap tooth, you should be ashamed of yourself. She's actually proud of the gap tooth. Which coincidentally, her Dr. Pepper told her that a lot of people with gap teeth, it relates from their childhood when they would suck on a pacifier or a bottle for too long. And it would cause a gap in the front of their teeth. For some people, I don't know, it's fixable, but you should just learn to love yourself. One thing Jennifer can't love about herself, even though she's tried, is her foot. Frankly, both of her feet, but we're starting with one step at a time here. Personally, I was going to tell her that her feet look fine and there's nothing for her to worry about, but I don't like to lie. I think honesty is the best policy. So when it comes to Jennifer's foot, basically I agree with some of the YouTube commenters. I mean, amputation is probably the best thing for it. Speaking of which, Jennifer is taking and promoting this new brain iodine offered by Infowars.com and Prison Planet TV, Infowars Health Store. Apparently, it's actually making her smarter. Most people, they say, use 5 to 10% of their brain at any given time. And with this Infowars brain iodine, Jennifer is actually able to use the entire 5%. So if you wonder why she's making all these crazy videos constantly for the last couple months, it's because she's actually beginning to normalize. I don't want to get people's hopes up or look too far in the future, but I would say with a little encouragement and some therapy, Jennifer could actually fit in with society again. Not counting her feet, her foot, which is actually the reason I'm making this video, because one of her feet is much bigger than the other. Most people don't know this about Jennifer. One of her feet is a size 12. It's grossly over proportioned, and her other foot is a modest and petite size 7.5. So if you ever felt something might be wrong with Jennifer, just know that there is this big disparity in her feet and basically one of her legs. I mean, just looking at the foot on the screen, and then you can imagine what we know Jennifer looks like. You can just imagine how this foot fits onto her body, and it's, again, getting me demonetized on YouTube. But I frankly feel like people have the right to know about Jennifer's foot, and Jennifer wants it out there, so why not? Look, we're going to be bringing you more content about Jennifer's foot, and not just one of her feet. Right now we're talking about the big one, but we also want to talk about the small one. We want to talk about the big eye, and we want to talk about the small eye. Not that there's anything wrong with these types of things. Everybody has unique characteristics to themselves, which actually makes them who they are. That's part of your personality, having one big foot and one small foot, Jennifer. And that's what people like about you. For those of you calling her Bigfoot, it doesn't make any sense. You might as well just call her Littlefoot. Anyway, we don't want to get too carried on here. We will be making more videos. This is sponsored by Jennifer's Foot. For those of you that have called 91111 now, Jennifer appreciates it. And for the rest of you, she will be suing you because of your harassment that you've been doing to her over the last 5.5 years. You guys, her foot freaking loves you guys. All right, everybody, it's been fun. This is a message from Jennifer's Foot. Take it easy, and as always, make sure you have yourself a great day, lovey-doveys.